I grew up in an environment where everyone convinced me I'm an ugly girl. Ugly. I even struggled to date. I was not very confident. So for me, the reason men treated me the way they treated me was because every time I dated a man, I felt like they were doing me a favor. Do you understand? I was like, oh my God, what a privilege to date this handsome, tall man. Me, ugly Aletti. Do you understand? Now, going into this relationship and doing all these things, I was not even in any way thinking man is going to get money at some point and we're going to be fine. No.
Hey, UG boy, let's talk to them. Let's talk, let's talk to them. Let's talk to them. Let's talk to them. Let's talk, let's talk to them. Yeah, I'm from a beautiful place, the Pearl of Africa. Hailing with a 256, it's in my blood. That's a gem where the mountains rise, with stories untold. The tapestry of cultures unfolding, so vibrant and bold. A symphony of stars, a celestial light. The drums beating, echoing through the night, just like a beacon of light. A reflection that's coming up from the Nile. I'm flowing straight into the heart of Africa, with timeless stories untold. What's up, dog?
Elevate your podcast game today. Are you looking for a perfect place to record your podcast in Kampala? Look no further. Danceoff Studios, located at Ivory Plaza on Wilson Street, Level 3, Room 4, is a perfect place for you. Danceoff Studios has professional recording equipment, comfortable and creative environment, expert for all your podcast needs. Book your session today. Find them on all social media platforms or reach out to them directly to secure your spot. Let them make your podcast dream a reality. Danceoff Studios, where stories come to life.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Today on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, we welcome back a woman whose courage, honesty, and adventurous spirit have inspired thousands. Aletti, also known as Queen. 2 years ago, she sat here with a dream. She told us about visiting the world with a Ugandan passport. But since then, the story has taken new depth. She has opened up about trauma, betrayal, mental health, her fight for healing, all while still traveling the world, because I think she's still posting about travel once in a while. And one of her clips that you all remember.
If I've dated men, I can walk a lion. No, if I, Aletti, have dated men that almost unalived me, I can walk a lion or whatever it is. I can even walk a snake, please.
That clip gave us our first 1 million views on Instagram. And thanks to Aletti, we get an opportunity to thank her. But today we got deeper, even bigger than before. Let's talk to the woman behind travel, bravery, and behind this smile. Anytime you see Aletti smile, appreciate that smile.
Yes.
Aletti, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Bonnie. I have missed you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been good. Yeah.
How is family? Ori bulungi?
Ndi bulungi, family nungi mukama akuma.
Hallelujah. Nange mbadde nkyali okay. I'm better than I was 2 years back. I think we nagira wano kweno podcast. That was my most broken version. But I think because I have a very warm personality, it's very hard for anyone to tell I'm going through anything until I speak up. So I'm in a better place today. I'm in a much, much better place.
And actually, that's right, because I have it somewhere that I wrote it somewhere. And we could get hints. If people see you today and they go back and watch the episode, you could see the hints of what you're trying to say. Nenga, it doesn't come out straight.
True,
Nenga, if you listen to the story, you know there's behind that. But even after that time, a lot of things have happened. But you've mentioned about the podcast has changed, the studio, your life has changed. What can you pick on that has changed over the 2 years since you were here?
In my life or?
In both, like in the podcast and in your life.
You guys have done such a good job here. A lot has changed. Ndaba buli kimu kipya, setup nungi nnyo, it's very warm. Even outside, like things are different now. I feel like today I felt like I was walking into a new space. It's more, it's giving
Yeah.
it's that. Good job, guys. You've done such a good job.
Thank you.
Like, I felt like as a creative, this is everyone's dream. Like you want to be in a space like this, as a creative. So yeah, good job.
Big up to Dance Off Studios.
Big up, Dance Soft. You're the best.
How about in your life?
A lot has changed, Basha. The last time I was here, I was in a relationship that I thought was very stable.
Haji.
That relationship ended a few months after that. I was in a very solid friendship. My best friend was here with me. Today it's been a year and so many days of no contact. I was surrounded by so much love. Today I'm solo. Like there was a lot. A lot has changed. Even as a person, a lot has changed. I've been to therapy, I'm one of those people who have had so much trauma, but I kept on hiding from my trauma because you see, Bonnie, my story is not just like any other person's ordinary story. Mine is a very deep, dark story. So I always put that trauma behind me and all the things I've done in this life. I always hid behind like my warm personality, but deep down I was dying and deep down I was not proud of most of the things I was doing then. I was a people pleaser then. I was just throwing myself at so many people's feet because I thought, Aletti's story is dark and I don't want the world to find out about maybe bad thing A that I've done, bad thing B that I've done. Do you understand? So I was in this relationship, but I was performative. I was not there because I felt loved or they cared about me. As a matter of fact, I was in a relationship, but with myself. You understand? Most of these people stayed for the things I did for them, not because they really loved or cared about me. You understand? I was dating from a place of, I just want to belong to someone, not from a place of, I love this person genuinely and I love what they do for me. I love what they add to me. I love the fact that they fill my cup. No. It was the other way around. I was pouring from an empty cup and filling other people's cups. As a matter of fact, their cups were overflowing while mine was literally dry.
And I can definitely understand that. Actually, something I need to tell the listeners that they don't know. After the 2 years ago, you came back last year. We actually recorded a whole episode where you opened up about some of the things. But hearing you talking about that you were not ready, because we talked about it on the phone.
Yeah.
And we were like, we ended up never releasing that episode. But actually, in between those 2 years, Aletti came here. But I think that's what you're talking about. Like you were not ready to open up. But I love that you've had that piece with you to feel like you're opening up. But before we go into all that, because that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
I have these segments that I introduced here. Tutandika fun segment that twagala bakanga nnyo. Oyinza ogituwa munaga, hey, naddukirawo. Tebasooka nakubuuza. But we have these fun segments that we do. It's called This or That. This or That is where I ask you two things. You pick one. Feel free to explain why you're picking that and dropping the other.
Yeah.
Or feel free to say, Bonnie, Sina answer. That's all I have. But two things you can't say. You can't say neither or you can't say both. You're going to have to pick one.
Okay.
Are you ready for the first one?
I'm ready.
Backpacking travel or luxury travel?
So unhealed Aletti used to love backpacking, but it's because my system was used to suffering. My system was used to pain, suffering. I used to think, because I've done so many bad things, I deserve to suffer. You understand? So if you ask me today, I would say no backpacking for me. Luxury, please. Yes, please, luxury. Yes.
Silent retreats or beach holiday?
Beach holiday. No explanation. Beach holiday. Yeah.
Travel alone or travel with someone?
So I used to love traveling solo. The last time we were here, you actually asked me that, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And I said, oh my God, solo. No. I want company. So yes, I would love to travel with someone. Solo travel is fun, but nah. Adult me just wants to have good company around.
It's crazy when you talk about what you just talked about earlier in the first question about before, like travel with suffering. Because I watched your journey when you left Kampala and then you crossed the border like you were...
I used to do so many of those. You know why? My system, let me tell you, Bonnie, I'm big on healing now because people don't realize that you can be broken. Nengo tambula bulijjo mu bantu. Ne balowooza oli normal. But Bonnie, now okiraba bulungi nti Aletti waaluli si wakati. I used to put myself through so much pain because my body, my system, your whole system is telling you deserve to suffer. Wakola boti ne boti, you deserve to suffer. You even when you have money to say pay for a flight, you're like, Nedda, I'll go for the longer route. I should suffer. Okay? And you're convincing yourself, yes, this is what people want to consume. Now for me as a creative, you're convincing yourself this is what people want to consume. And then you realize that as you're doing this, you're actually worrying people. People genuinely care and worry about you. Like, Aletti, are you okay? Like, why are you climbing a track at midnight without money? Why do you have to leave home? To this day, I sit down and I'm like, if I do it right now, I would do it because of the thrill, but not because my system is broken. You understand?
And that's the best example I had to bring up. Yeah, I had to bring up when to let the listeners know about the things you're talking about, because I watched the whole journey, how you were just living on a string.
My friends must have been so worried, man.
Forgiving fast, like fast, emisinde,
Yeah.
or cut off quietly.
You see, the thing about me is I don't like cutting people off. I forgive. I love dialogue now. The Aletti of those days was very avoidant, so I would just cut you off. But now I believe that there should be a conversation. So, no, not cut off.
Yeah.
Fast. Yeah. Forgive. If it doesn't work out, you can see what to do after that.
Now, this final one, I've watched you grow on these two platforms where you've been sharing your stories. But I want you to pick one: TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok. Hands down.
Yeah.
Hey, TikTok.
I
love. Yeah.
Why did you pick TikTok over Instagram? Because you're doing great on both of them.
I am.
But why did you go with TikTok?
I'd like to think that, first of all, TikTok, as a creative, TikTok favors you in a way that it's easy to grow. It's very, very easy to grow on TikTok.
I agree.
Unlike Instagram, where you might get only 100 followers in 3 years. Also on Instagram, people don't like to engage because, first of all, there may be personal vendettas and all those things. People just look at you and they're like, nah. Like, even when they see something nice, they will not like your stuff. On TikTok, the algorithm pushes your content to all sorts of people, and people are going to like you and like your content and like you and become suddenly you have Team Aletti, suddenly you have people protecting you. Like, it's so random. Now for me, because I'm new to TikTok, I was actually in shock when I realized that there's people that are willing to fight for you. They don't know who you are. They don't care what you've been through. They just love you. You're their hero. They just love you. Understand?
Yeah.
And because I'm a very easygoing person, I can be friends with anyone, whether you're a border person or Manyaka Sasiro. I don't care. I can be friends with anyone. It was very easy for me to relate with people on TikTok. I love having conversations with strangers, so I respond to everything. I talk to them. They're now my friends. That's why now, if I go live on TikTok, you'll find like 600 people seated there, and I'm not even saying anything. They're just there because they want to hear what you're saying. So I just love TikTok. Also, the fact that you don't have to overthink things. You see, TikTok is the one app you wake up and wipe your camera and say, good morning. That good morning will get you viral. Yeah. You understand? Now, Instagram, you have to first think about it, think about aesthetics. Is the color okay? Is the color grading perfect? You understand? So I'm not those people who are very like aesthetic lips, cautious over what. No. I'm for TikTok, please. TikTok is my guy.
TikTok is great, and I agree with you on everything you said, because actually, when 2 years ago after your episode, I hit 10K on Instagram and I hit 10K on TikTok. Yeah. But currently today, after 2 years, I'm at 30K on Instagram and I'm at 71 on TikTok.
Can you
see
imagine
that big difference, like a difference of 40,000. So TikTok any day, every day. And even their pay is, for people who earn from TikTok, their pay is better than Instagram.
I only joined TikTok last year. I only became active in October last year. So it's been easy for me to grow to 40,000 from October to now February, 40K. And then it's very easy to attract brands. I did not realize. Like, it's like for the very first time as a creative, it's making sense for me. Like, just January alone, I was able to make over 9 million from brands. Do you understand? And this is money that I've never made, not Instagram. And I've been on Instagram for a long, long time. So it's very easy. Like TikTok gives you the visibility. You understand? And then, yeah, it's just been so easy to do TikTok. I love it.
And repeating Anne Kansime's words when she was on the podcast, maybe TikTok, start paying our creators.
Please.
Uganda has a lot of content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baba Sasule. Anyway, this moves us to our main segment, and this is where we're going to talk about some of the things like about your life, the changes we talked about earlier that we're just kind of hinting on. We're going to walk through them, and we've said you've shared your stories recently that are powerful, deeply personal, from topics like sexual harassment to depression to betrayal by people, the people that you trusted, family, and you've been incredibly open like never before. My question is, do you feel you healed, or did you just choose to move forward because life pushed you?
So one thing about healing is it's a journey. You don't wake up one morning and feel like I've healed, because to this day, there are things you think I've healed from and moved on. And then one morning you wake up and it hits you. And it hits you and you're suddenly angry and you're like, why did person A do ABCD? Or even if it's now you're criticizing yourself, you're like, Aleti, why did you do ABCD to this person? You get. Yet yesterday you felt better. Do I make sense? So healing is a never-ending journey. So if any of you ever wants to go to therapy, I don't want you to think that in 1 year you will be good. Healing, once you start the journey, you have to be ready. First of all, when you start therapy, it's going to trigger all the pain afresh, everything. It's one thing about our brains, Bonnie, is that our brains protect us from certain memories. Now, when you go to therapy, the therapist is triggering all the pain because they are literally tightening the loose screws. Do you understand? Bakukamula, nebakuzayo, and you feel the pain afresh. That's why after 2 sessions, you stop going to therapy. You feel like they're triggering me. It's pain all over again. You need to sit through that pain until you get to the other side and feel better. So for me, waking up and now sharing was not because I'm healed, but I realized that I'm in a better place to share. I also realized that I'm now shame-free. Being shame-free and being shameless are 2 different things. Anything that I'll ever share, any story, my life has been like a humiliation ritual, literally my entire life. So there's a lot of shame around my name and my life. So as a person, I had to free myself from being shame, like from the shame, like letting people shame me and all those things. Being in people's lives because I'm afraid they know what I did and they'll come out and shame me and I'll feel bad. I worked on being shame-free. So I'm very shame-free today. If anyone ever uses anything against me, I'll just laugh about it. And I realize that it triggers people. It annoys people when you come out and share your story. Okay? Not anymore, because now they've realized that Aletti is very solid. We now call it gumite in Uganda. Like, I'm very solid.
Gumite, yeah.
I'm very good. You cannot shake me. There is not a thing you can say and put me down. But this is because I went to therapy. My therapist has helped me so much. I'm very sure the last time I was here, Bonnie, I was telling you things, but I was very, as if hinting, not hinting. I was as if saying things, not saying things. You get. I'm in a different place now. So I'm only sharing because I also realized that my pain, my suffering was not in vain. Every time you come out and share your story, you realize that there's so many people that are going through the same thing you went through, or there are people that have been through the same thing, but they don't even know how to speak up. So now, for me, speaking up has helped me feel better because you realize, okay, I'm not alone. And then every time someone comes and says, Aletti, help me with ABCD, and you tell them how you went about it, and then they come back and tell you, oh my God, Aletti, I did ABCD and thank you. That my heart is at peace. I'm like, okay, my suffering was not in vain, okay? God maybe put me through this training and humiliation and all these things to help the future, like to just help the youngings, to help the young girls and boys out there, you understand? Because most of us, like now for me, when I went into the world of crime, there was a season of my life when I was like into proper crime, Bonnie. I'm not talking petty crime. I'm talking real crime of, I want to rob a bank, I want to murder someone. Like, do you understand? There was a time I was into that kind of life. There are people that are being lured into that kind of life right now, but they don't even realize they're being lured into that life.
Yeah. Because
someone is going to come with a promise, someone is going to come posing as a boyfriend, a girlfriend, they're going to promise things. Do you understand? So yeah, I'm not fully healed, but I'm currently in a better place to share these things. I'm sharing from a scar that's now closing up. I'm not sharing from like an open wound. I don't know if I make sense.
I'm glad that you answered that like that, because you touched on all the thoughts even with my follow-up questions, because I was going to ask you what one moment made you finally say, I'm ready to speak. But you touched on that because you feel like you were ready at that. Unless you want to add on to that, but I think you mentioned that while you're answering the first one. What moment finally made you say, I'm ready to speak up?
So I started therapy 2025, February. I didn't go to therapy because I'd lost someone I loved so much, Bridget Ayeza. I did not go to therapy because of that. I had already been to therapy, in and out of therapy. And I want to believe that what me and her had was so beautiful and solid. Do you understand? Like, I'd never dreamt a day would come and me and her, like, done, gone. Do you understand? I didn't think anything like that was ever going to happen. But December 2024, I had already made the decision that I was going to go to therapy. I was telling myself, I'm not good for myself. I'm not good for my friends. I'm not good for anyone. I deserve to also experience a healed version of Aletti. Because right now I'm being performative. I'm showing up in this solid. I'm showing people I'm smiling. Everyone thinks I'm the life of the party. But deep down, I'm not okay. Like, I knew I was not okay. Now, in February 2025, something happened. Maybe we'll get into it later if you want. Something happened, right? And I told myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I was arrested. Literally, I went to prison twice in Feb. Because I felt...
Actually, I think you called me.
Yeah.
It's funny because February is when we recorded that episode that we didn't release.
Yeah. I was not okay, Bonnie. I was losing my mind. I was arrested twice and it was over money issues. And I needed to show up online as a creator, as if nothing was happening in my life. I needed to show up in the world smiling, like as if my world was not crashing. And the situation around me then, like, I was actually innocent. Do you understand? But because I was misunderstood and there was a lot of chaos in my life, there was no way I was going to explain to anyone that, hey, I actually did not do ABCD. That's not how it was. Do you understand? And then my friends, all of them, I'm not going to say this friend or this friend, all of them, sat down with
can keep the names on,
sat down with my boyfriend, someone they knew I cared and loved so much, okay? And they started discussing me and saying all sorts of things about me. But I want you to know, Bonnie, that I've hurt people in this life, but I've never hurt my friends. I would never hurt my friend. I have crossed the ocean for my friends. I have done so many things for my friend. You understand? And if tables were turned and you ask them, what did you ever do for Aletti? There would not even be maybe 2 or 3 things. Do you understand? Because even when I had people around me, it did not feel like I had people. It felt like I was alone. Okay, I'm not going to blame them entirely because I was not an easy person to love as well, because I was very protective. I don't communicate. I'm always angry because I had things going on. I'm always avoidant. Do you understand? So even if they had tried, like Bridget tried so hard to actually help me, like, feel better, like, is everything okay? Because now she saw the Aletti I didn't show the world, especially Bridget. You understand? She saw vulnerable me. She tried to sit down with me so many times. There's so many times I tried to commit suicide. She sat down with me like this. Like, she helped me. She sat with me in stillness. Do you understand? So she played her part as a friend. Do you understand? But then a time came and words were flying left, right, center. And my friends, instead of just being in my corner for that one season, everyone left, which was okay. Not all of them. No. This does not include like breed. No. A few of them. Okay? I don't mind anyone for walking away. I'm actually very, very proud of them because I want to think that we were in a very toxic relationship. Very, very toxic. I had carried myself like a mommy bear. My job is to take care of them. Their job is to like tell me their needs and I solve. How I got the money, none of their business. Over I'm stealing it, over robbing the bank, over borrowing, none of their business. And they did not ask. But I had positioned myself to be that person for them, which is not their fault, was entirely my fault. Where was that coming from? Broken Aletti. Feeling the need to always take care of the people, feeling the need to always protect them because they might find out something about me and they leave me buying their love, paying for things. Do you understand? So when those things happened, I told myself, I am done. Like, I'm actually done. When I lost my boyfriend, when he treated me the way he treated me and things happened, when he sat me down and told me what had happened, I listened to the audios that they had shared. I read the conversations. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. I left his house because I had moved in with him. I left his house. Literally, we were supposed to be getting married. The last time I was here, I was telling you, oh my God, Haji, we were excited.
Yeah, I remember.
We're getting married. So we had to put that on hold. I walked away. Things were very bad. I'm not going to lie. He did not treat me very well. Well, things have changed now. He apologized and it's okay. I've made peace. Okay?
Yeah.
By the way, to everyone, I don't want you to think I'm sharing these things to shame you. No. We have made peace and it's okay. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just elaborating.
Right.
When I left his place, I had nowhere to go because now there was no one in my circle. One thing about me is when it comes to my friend, I don't just walk away. I confronted. I told them, hey, what you did was wrong. I thought we were solid. I thought you were in my corner. I'm just disappointed. Maybe I'm a bad person, but I've never been a bad person to you. Do you understand? So you didn't have to do ABCD. It was intense. A lot. They did a lot. So I had nowhere to go. I was homeless. I stayed on the streets. Even the day I came here to shoot, I didn't have a home. I was homeless. So I had some little savings, of course.
For the second time or the first time?
The second time. So I left an Airbnb to come here. I had some little monies to put me in an Airbnb. And then when the money ran out, I went to a guest house. That ran out as well. And now I had to go to Prayer Mountain. I sat at Prayer Mountain for a long time, homeless. And I had now left social media. I'm not talking to anyone. I've changed my SIM cards. A lot is going on. There's a lot of chaos. I was arrested twice. Like, there was a lot going on. I told myself, I don't care what's going on in my world. I need to fix me. For once, I need to just fix me. You understand? So I met a lady at the Prayer Mountain who introduced me to a therapist. And she was like, when I told her my story, she was like, you need to talk to someone. So she put me in touch. The therapist did not charge me anything. For starters, my first therapist, she just was very interested. Like, what's a girl like you doing here? Because I feel like in March 2025, I lost my mind completely. Like, I was not sane. Like, I was not okay. For the first time, I was alone. And that's the one thing that scared me. Because from the day my mom died when I was 14, I'd never been alone. Like, I'd always had people around me treat me unfairly, but there were people around me. So even as an adult, I tried to make sure there were friends around me. Not the best of friends, but I had some people around me. So for the very first time, I had to now sit alone with my thoughts, sit alone with my pain, try to feel things, try to introspect and understand, where did I go wrong? What happened? Why this? So I sat through therapy. And then my very first session made me realize that things could actually get better. But it became intense. In the first 3 sessions, I ran away from her. I cut her off, changed my SIM cards. I've always been an avoidant. Cut her off 100% because I was like, man, don't trigger me. Don't take me back there. So I left that Prayer Mountain and then went to Nebi. There's a Prayer Mountain in Nebi. Do you know where the smallest church in Uganda is?
No.
I shared that story on Instagram. You must have missed it. So I went to Nebi and stayed in Nebi until June. From March to June. There's a Prayer Mountain. They welcome you. They give you food. It's literally a sanctuary for us that are lost. I had no smartphone, no nothing. It was just me, my capability, and God. I sat there and cried every single day, struggled to eat, but at least I sat through my pain. And now I started working on forgiving myself because I realized that if you're going to forgive anyone, you have to forgive yourself first. I tried to convince myself and tell myself that my childhood was not my fault. Because you see, for all the things I've done as an adult, they came from my childhood. I told myself it's not your fault. Do you understand? It is entirely not my fault. If you die today, Basha, I'm so sorry to say this, But how your daughter is raised is not her fault. But when you turn 18, yeah, you have to start doing the work. Because if you refuse to heal, then you're just choosing not to heal and you have bad manners. Now, that's who I was. I chose not to heal and forgive my childhood traumas because it was easy for me to blame something, to hold on to something, to just accuse like my mom because she was not here to defend herself. I was like, my mom left me, so I did ABCD. My dad left me. Oh my God, it's trauma. My God, it's trauma. I go to therapy, like do the work, heal. You're refusing to heal and treating people unfairly. You're being rude. You're not being nice, but you want us to say therapy and you expect people to just understand you. So in June, I was ready to come back to the city. The church was very kind to me. They gave me some money to come back to the city. So I wanted to stay far away from everyone that I knew. I went to Entebbe and rented like a small house, very, very small. And then I started looking for jobs. I got a job at some hotel. I was doing marketing and sales for them.
Before we get to the job, I want to run something back that I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned you went to a prayer mountain before you went to therapy. Well, that's why you met the lady that took you to therapy.
Yeah.
In your story somewhere, the stories you've shared, there's a lot of stories. And we're not going to go in depth of these stories. If you want the depth of them, check out her Instagram and TikTok because we also want you to support her. We're just going to refer to them and you will go find the stories. You mentioned something about a church and how you were part of the church and how the church treated you.
Yeah.
Why was church, like, I feel like what you went through with the church might have created something in you, but why was it that you went back to that?
The church.
Like, what made you go back to church after having that pain from church in the previous?
I grew up in church. My mom was a minister in church. But the people that have hurt me the most in this world have come from church. You understand? But I've always known that when things go south, the church always has open doors for you. So I went to the church because I had nowhere else to go. And now the prayer mountains are not even like attached to maybe locally Anglicans, or most of these are just holy grounds. You can just go and worship. I just needed a place to lay my head where I didn't have to pay rent. You understand? So I only went back to church because I had no fallback plan. I did not actually go because I wanted to seek God and seek forgiveness. Oh my God. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to hear about God in that moment.
Yeah.
I just had nowhere else to go.
You ran Q&A on your Instagram and I looked through some of the questions and I might refer to a few. I was supposed to do a Q&A and then life lifed and we forgot about it, but I'm happy you did it because I saw other people's comments that you responded to. Did the church, the way they hurt you, did that affect your relationship with God? Just your personal relationship with God?
It did, Basha, terribly. I've been attached to 2 churches as an adult, and my jobs there were illegal. I don't want to sound like I'm attacking anyone, but I was only attached to these churches.
There's a story for that too, actually.
Exactly.
You should go find it.
Because I was doing illegal things for church. So because I was very close to these pastors and I saw how they operate, I saw where their anointing comes from, I saw where this holy water comes from, I saw how they fake miracles. I mean, I was paid to fake miracles for the longest time. I saw how they operate. And we're not talking about small churches, Basha. We're talking about the biggest we have in Kampala. Do you understand? So because I was attached to them and they were doing all those things, I realized that, you know what? Maybe God is not real. It's just a narrative that's... do you understand? But deep down, I know that there is a higher power. Do you understand? But because of everything they put me through and everything I saw them do, all these illegal things and all the bad things they do, and then now act holy when they come to church on Sunday, it affected me terribly. It altered my brain 100%. I told myself, I'll never maybe be attached to a church again. But church hurt me, not God or the higher power, whatever it is you choose to believe in. I did not stop there was a higher power, but I stopped believing in churches. To this day, Basha, I don't think I'll ever go back to church.
You were narrating your story, but I think we might get to that because I wanted to get to the part where the decision that made you to open up, and we'll get to the story where you are right now, where you could talk to me that you ended up moving to Entebbe. But at this point, you have a massive following and young girls that ask you questions. They relate to some of your stories or some of the things you share about. Somebody says, I went through that. I'm going through that. I know somebody who's going through that.
Yeah.
Has sharing your journey online affected your friendships? Like people are like, oh no, man, like you choosing to open up. Has that affected some of your friends?
That's a very good question. You see, initially I didn't tell you, but when I came back to Kampala, now I made the honest decision to say, let me go to therapy, but then I changed therapists, yeah? Now, when I started doing therapy, because I started aggressively sharing my story last year, around November, December, I think. So when I went in and said, okay, Aletti, you're going public, you are going to lose everyone. I sat down with myself and said, Aletti, you already don't have friends, but you're going to lose everyone, because you see the things you're going to say are very chaotic. You know your life. And I said, I'm ready to walk this journey solo for the rest of my life. But I'm going to share my story. People need to know that these things do happen and we can avoid them. Now, I went in with that mindset and I was wrong entirely. I have made solid friendships, Bonnie, from the very day I shared my stories. I have had parents call me to come talk to their daughters. I am booked and busy the whole of March because I have to go to schools and talk to students. I have made friends with people I never thought I'd ever sit down with. Do you understand? So while I thought all my friends were going to leave me, my friends now, instead of running away, they finally understood me. They were like, oh my God. So everyone just wants to embrace me and tell me, you know what, Aletti, you deserve so much love because you've been through so much. You understand? So I went in with the mindset of, oh my God, I'm done. I'll never have friends. But yeah, it's not been that. I've been so lucky. I've been so loved. I've been well received. People have literally received me with open arms. I've not received any judgment from them. Yeah, it's just been blissful.
That is good. And I think it brings peace to you too. Like with all that, like it might look bad to the people who are watching from outside, but they don't know what you're going through. Like keeping those things inside you.
Yeah, it breaks you.
Like it really breaks you, but it brings peace. You made a statement and actually you repeated it. Also, I watch your story. I follow you. I'm a big fan. Nze
mukwano ndi fan wo. Nze nawe tuli tuti.
But I was listening to one of your stories that actually you shared, and actually you touched on it when you're talking here on the podcast. You said, what happened? I'm going to try to avoid Uganda because I noticed that I have a lot of listeners that are not just from Uganda.
Your Uganda is broken. You leave it, dear.
So people from outside, they say they want to listen to this. But you said it again, and you say everything that happened when you're younger.
Yeah.
But after you turned 18, you blame yourself for everything that happened.
Entirely.
Why do you hold that weight onto yourself? And have you said learning about letting that go, or you still hold it? Like you still believe that you still hold yourself accountable for everything that happened after 18?
I don't hold myself accountable per se, but I want to approach this in this angle, right? Basha bw'obanga oli mubbi, kuba kati nze nali mubbi, ekyo nkibagamba every day. I was groomed into like becoming a thief. That's a story for another day if you want. Okuva we bantwala ntandika okuyiga obubbi, I was a child. When you are a child, you have nothing to do. Your mother has gone. You have nowhere to go. Toyina wa kutandikira. Do you understand? But when you turn 18, oba okuze, yes, your frontal lobe has not developed totegera bulungi sometimes, but oba otandise okukula ng'otandise okwawula ekituufu n'ekikyamu. Why I keep saying that is because even at 20, I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I kept on doing it. You understand? So that's why I hold myself accountable that way. I'm like, Aletti, don't ever blame anyone for teaching you anything after the age of 18. It was entirely your fault. Teri yakugamba nti kola bot, unless nga bakwatide ku gunpoint, but things that you walked willingly, nogamba let me go and do ABCD, it's entirely your fault. And I think the lack of accountability in most of us is the reason we are suffering and struggling in this life. We hate it when you cannot even sit alone with your thoughts and be like, sorry, I will feel out. You cannot. And that's why you're losing friends. You're not comfortable in life. You think for you you're perfect. So gambwa, koto yagala kunenya, tokkiriza nti olina ensobi olowooza nti n'oli Mother Mary.
That is definitely true. And I meant to talk about that early because like holding yourself accountable and just being vulnerable about the things you've gone through. Like, yeah, that's where most people struggle and have a hard time with. But through also in your stories, you mentioned somewhere that you don't have any relationship with your father right now.
Yeah.
How has that shaped you as a woman, as a mother, and in everything that you do? And do you think there's any possible tiny thing that you see that happening, like having that relationship again?
So as a mother, from a mother's point of view, you guys, it's very important to have a father. I don't know. I used to think, oh, it's no big deal. But I think the older I grow, I now realize that some days you just need your father. Do you understand? And because there was no father figure in my life, there was no one to tell me certain things. There was no one to shape me, like do what my father was supposed to do. Some of the things I've done are because I was fatherless. You will not understand, but it's very important that at least you have a father. I don't know, man. For the fathers out there, if you, I don't know, maybe you and the mother had a problem, or you didn't agree on a thing A, B, or C, D. But if your child comes to you and says, "Oh, hey, I'm your child. My name is da 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 da. My mother is," don't chase her. Because you say when my mom passed, I tried to go to my dad, but he made it very clear he didn't want anything to do with me. And for the longest time, I knew my dad hated me because my mother also raised me telling me, your dad hates you. And every time my mother had a problem growing up, anytime she was angry, she would remind me that I'm fatherless. Do you understand? She would literally remind me that you're fatherless, remind me that you're the reason I'm here, you're the reason I would not. Do you understand? Because this man also put her through so much pain. I was mad at my mom before I went to therapy, but now I understand that she was just a girl like me. She didn't know what to do. You brought a child here, and then this man is showing you he's not interested. And then you go ahead to have another baby with the same man. So while it's very confusing, I don't think I blame her anymore. Now, is it important for me to make peace with my dad? Will I ever? I don't think I will ever make peace with my father. My therapist encouraged me to go to have conversations with him. You understand? But even after that, I realized that this is a dead relationship. Like, you cannot force someone to love you. If they're not interested, they're not interested. So I tried as much and failed. However, I realized that things have now shifted. I don't know how, but maybe he started seeing my TikTok things, and then I realized that now he was trying to run towards me and embrace me and try to like bring me back and have conversation. But I think now I'm far gone. I'm not interested. But I pray that someday, if I decide to also now have more babies, I pray that their father stays in their lives. Do you understand? Like, you see, I've been so blessed. I have a daughter. But I think the one thing I thank God for is the fact that she has a solid dad. Even when my life was falling apart, I was not worried because that man was standing in the gap for the both of us. Do you understand? He respected the fact that, okay, Aletti is mentor, I will be the father. And I know that that's the best gift I've ever given my daughter, to have a present father. You guys, it might not seem like a big deal, but you need your dad present in this life. Some things your mother will not tell you. Your father will sit down with you and tell you things that your mother will not. Well, we don't choose what happens to us, but I just wish we all had fathers.
That's a big point right there. And that's one of the things I promised myself now that I have a daughter. She's almost 3.
Oh, yeah.
I love her to death. And like, no matter what happens in life, like, I want to be there for her. And we've had this conversation before in other podcasts. Like, I would drop anything
to take care of
for
her.
And just if she needs me, if she needs something, it's something that I would do. But, and speaking of your daughter, because this was the next thing I was going to talk about. You answered that question somebody was asking you still on Instagram, 13-year-old. With all the things that you've gone through, the pain, the heal, the whatever you're going through, and you have this little daughter coming up, how has that influenced the way you're raising her? Like, do you ever sit down and have some kind of conversation? It might be heavy for her, like telling her everything. But like, do you ever like have some conversation about her with some things and just hints and bits and helping her to raise her better?
So, first of all, when I had my child, I left the marriage immediately because the way my child was also, the way I got pregnant was not very pleasant. So we ended up just having to settle down because I was pregnant. I was not ready. I was coerced into this. Okay. So when I had the baby, I was not okay mentally. So I walked away when the baby was 2 years and I did not look back. I went no contact for 6 years. So eventually I got back to myself and I went back, tried to make peace. But even when I walked away, that dad made sure he shows this girl that this is mommy, this is mommy, this is mommy. Like the one day I went back after 6 years, she knew who I was, but we were not even talking. She knew that, oh, that's mommy. So I started now mending that relationship. I now started making sure that I make peace, apologize to her, help her understand why I left. She was too young to understand, but now she's a big girl. She understands. So when she turned 11, I sat down with her and told her, she knows most of the things I've been through, but of course she's a child. You don't dive deep. There are things you can't tell her. But you try to explain to her and guide her and tell her, mommy ended up like this. I don't want you to end up like this. This is why mommy did ABCD. Even if I'm not here tomorrow, even if I'm dead and daddy is dead, don't you ever let someone do anything like this. Don't ever let someone force you to do ABCD. Do not. So she knows these things. Actually, when I was starting this series, I told you guys that I'm calling this series of my life, I'm calling them Dear Michelle, because I feel like I'm writing letters to my daughter. You understand? And even if I'm gone tomorrow, I want her to look for my page and be like, oh my God, this is my mom. This is what she went through. This was her personality. This is who she was. Do you understand? So yes, my life has also helped me. I'm a better parent for sure than my mother was. I'm a much, much better parent. My mother was avoidant. My mother was very tough. My mom was very principled. I'm not that kind of mother. I give her time to express herself. I have a friend of mine that has helped me with being a mother so much. She's called Phaedra. Shout out Phaedra. Woo, woo. Phaedra is an influencer. You should check her out. She has helped me so much become a grounded mom and a present mom. So I'm a better mom. I might be all these things, Basha, but when it comes to my daughter, I'm solid. I know that that's one part in my life that's like perfect. And my girl is very, very bright and she understands these things. She's very kind. She understands. She now understands that mommy has had a chaotic life. Mommy has this and this and that. I don't want you to do ABCD because you could end up like mommy and be embarrassed here like this. You understand? So yeah, my life has really, really helped me become a better mother. It has shaped how I mother. And yeah, I'm proud of myself because I'm doing a good job.
I'm proud of you too. I am proud of you too. I look at the things you share. Actually, one day when I was preparing for our interview and recording, I went back, even the clips that I'd watched before, I went back and watched every single story on Instagram, every single story on YouTube, on TikTok, to just get familiar with what you've been through. Yeah. There isn't very many people in this world that can still sit in that chair or still stay standing when they've gone through all that. Like, true. It takes, things like.
It beats my therapist's understanding every day. She's like, Aletti, I don't know how you still show up. I have a friend called Sharifa. She also has a podcast. I was on her podcast a few months back, and she was like, Aletti, I don't know. Like, I just don't know how you're still here. I don't know how you're able to smile. You're still the life of every party. You're still very warm. Like, and I keep telling myself now, Basha, I've only enjoyed my life. 2025 is when I fully now said, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself. All those years I've been in autopilot. I've just been there, moving aimlessly. Do you understand? So I feel like I'm in charge now. I'm in charge of my emotions, my everything, my actions. I'm in a better place. I'm now grounded, you know?
That's why I said I'm super proud of you. And I remember in my introduction, I said, when you see Aletti smile, you need to appreciate that smile, because there's not very many people who have gone through what you've gone through that can sit there and smile and laugh and be happy with life. So I really appreciate that. But we can't ignore the line that you gave us on the show that gave us our first million.
Come on.
Hey, Mwana yanfula serebu ati kachaligamba nti alenze serebu we, but the thing that it was just like a conversation that we had, and the algorithm negama nti kale
Let's
quite a
push.
first million. You made a
Yeah.
statement that said, if I have dated men,
I can walk
I can
a
walk
lion,
a lion.
babes.
A lot of people liked that.
They
a lot of people from
did.
all over the world,
They
all over the country,
They
people
did.
followed me. And when you look back, was that humor, or was that coping mechanism, or was a moment of real fearless from everything that you had survived? Because we talked about that episode, you were dealing with things, but ngatusobola chiraga. So do you think that moment was just humor, or was it a coping mechanism, or was it a moment of real like fearless from everything that was going on?
You see, Basha, that's my personality. You know that's who I am, yeah? I'm warm even when I'm going through things. But now that statement was actually real. I've been through things, but I've not, like, the things men have done to me, Basha. I cannot, like, there is not a thing I can compare to the things men have done to me. Men have dragged me by my edges like this and dragged me across the room. I'm just there like, whoa. Hey, I know pain, but if I have dated men, I keep convincing myself that, Aletti, you can beat anything in this world. Aletti, there is not a thing that can put you down. If you dated Mwami Gondi and you survived him, you're going to survive this as well. So yeah, thank you so much for breaking my heart, because you guys, you see, you've given me drive in this life. Do you get it?
The one story I'll bring up, we'll just touch on it a little bit because there's very many stories. But the one story of you dating this guy,
yeah,
no, it's a cent. You're just hoping, but maybe in the future, guy enough no, then you bring the money for him, then you bring the money for this. What was going on there? Like, what was going on? Was it love? Was it like you really cared about this guy? And what did you learn from that?
So, first of all, let me tell you, it's so unfortunate that so many girls are going through what I went through. Do you know that majority of the girls in these relationships are the men in the relationships? When I was going into that relationship, it was total friendship. Like, it's a story of boy meets girl, they fall in love, But in the beginning, I thought that he had a job. This is actually now genuinely. I thought he had a job, just like I had my small job. I knew he was in LDC. LDC is now the final stage to being a lawyer, to being now called to the bar, blah, 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 blah. I thought the job he was doing then was paying him 100%. I was not doing so well, but I had a business. I had another job. So I thought we were going to be okay, to be honest. But I grew up in an environment where everyone convinced me I'm an ugly girl. Ugly. I even struggled to date. I was not very confident. So for me, the reason men treated me the way they treated me was because every time I dated a man, I felt like they were doing me a favor. Do you understand? I was like, oh my God, what a privilege to date this handsome, tall man. Me, ugly Aletti. Do you understand? Now, going into this relationship and doing all these things, I was not even in any way thinking man is going to get money at some point and we're going to be fine. No. It's just who I am. And you guys think I've only done that for men. I've done things for my friends. I've done... people pleasing is another topic that we need to talk about. But So I usually when I meet people, I position myself as their mother. I don't know why. That's just who I am. I want to solve all your problems. I want to do better things than your boyfriend will ever do for you. Do you understand? So when I realized that man was broke, I was pregnant then. And the one thing I'd always wanted was to start my own family, have as many children. I really thought I was going to have like 10 children because with my mom, it was just me and my brother. And I did not think about any other thing. All I wanted was to belong somewhere. And it also happened at a time where most of my OGs were getting married and they were starting families and having kids. I was like, oh my God, I also want. Do you understand? So all these people's lives influenced me to do most of the things I did. But I think the stupidest thing I've ever done is doing all these things for a man, going out of my way to like borrow money, take care of us, do all these random things for a man, and I'm giving the credit to the man. Do you understand?
Oh.
Like I'm telling the world, My man did ABCD. My man. But in actual sense, I'm the one doing all this. Do you understand? That's why it beats some people's understanding to this day. Like, why? Aleti, why did you do that? Like, seriously, why did you do that? It's the thing I've just told you. People pleasing. It's just a mental health disorder. Like there is no better explanation. I was mentally unstable.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I was mentally unwell.
And that's why we bring up these things, because like you said, there's other girls that are going through that, where they love so much and they just give whatever they can. You talked about like getting loans for this guy and all that.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson, and I'm glad you're here to share that. But there's something, I don't know if it's a joke or it's real, like your business of scaring married men to go back home.
No,
I
it's
saw
a
that
real
on
business.
Instagram too. Like,
it's a real business. Yeah. It's my latest.
So tell us about that.
Okay. So I've recently started a business where I beat men. So you are in a violent relationship. This boyfriend is trying to scam you. You're confused about him. He's cheating on you. He's beating you up. It's actually given me more money than any content creation gig has ever given me. Like, I've gotten so many clients from TikTok, and I'm so grateful, you guys. Shout out to you, babes. I love you. My girl is from TikTok. You guys have really, really kept the lights on in my house. So yeah, I beat them up properly. I have a group of people that I work with to like beat them back into like shape. Do you understand? These men who go out and drink and then they are at a random kafunda, they just point me towards the kafunda. Do you understand? Jump on a call with me. My number is in my bio on TikTok, as a matter of fact. Wake me up at midnight to beat a man. Please, give me that opportunity. So I have a goal. In all this, I have a goal. I want to be able to beat at least 1,000 men by 2027. Do you understand? So I feel like if I can do that as a businesswoman, that's good. That's good enough. So I'm also trying to work with the police. I want to go to the police and ask them to help me. After beating you up, I want to be able to drag you to the police and say, this one has been beating up a pregnant woman. This one has been beating up a girl that's underage. This one raped a girl. This one, I'm literally going to punish men for sure. Yes. It's a thing. It's not a joke, actually.
No, we need that. We need that. And so we've talked about men on this podcast a lot with all my female guests, about, especially some men in Uganda, but in entitlement. There's something somebody does. At
all.
But yeah. Let's take it. But anyway, going back to touching on travel a little bit, because that's what you were doing a lot. And you had this goal to hit 196 countries with a Ugandan passport, which I think because of what happened after that, you explained that after. But travel can be lonely. And I think that was one of the questions I asked you, and this or that, either travel alone or travel with somebody. And you said you used to travel alone, you used to like to travel alone, but now you like to travel with somebody. But for you, at that moment, was travel therapy or just a distraction?
No, it was just a distraction. I was not enjoying what I was doing. I was running away from these things. I was just running away from reality. Like, for me, travel was a way of just running away from my reality, running away from, I don't want to think about my pain. I don't want to think about my mom. Travel. If you have to walk. Do you understand? So I was not even enjoying this, to be honest. I wasn't. I was putting on a show for you guys. It was performative. So yeah, I really was not enjoying. But I've told myself that I want to go back to every place I've visited, but now with a regulated nervous system, so that I experience these places afresh. I want to see what it feels like to be by the beach with a regulated nervous system. Do you understand? Because yes, I've been 10,000 times, but I was there to run away from my reality, not because I was very performative. I've affected my life, literally all my life. I've only been authentic a few years in now.
Yeah, and I touched on your goal that you had to get to 196 days. And what happened, and why did you take a pause? Did you finish it? I guess I would ask it like that. Where are you now with that one? Any future plans for it?
So you see, that's one of the projects that I really, really, really poured my heart into, and I really wanted to do that, right? And I want to resurrect that this year, maybe towards the end of this year. But also, I'm not going to put myself under so much pressure and say, oh, I'm going to do it for 2 years. Now, the Guinness World of Records played me. Actually, you Guinness World people, if you're watching me, you played me, daddy. Because you see, what they do is give you hope and tell you, okay, you can start moving, send you emails and show you, okay, you can start moving. And then you're 50 countries in and they're telling you, oh no, your record does not make sense. You're disqualified. It's that time does not make sense. Do you understand? Meanwhile, you've already gone like out of your way to do all these things. There's a Nigerian lady, they did that too. And I think there's an Ethiopian lady that they did that too. This is recent, by the way. This woman was traveling across Africa on a bike. And she thought she was breaking the record until later they came out and said, oh, disqualified. Same thing they did to me. My sponsors were very disappointed because I had Next Media as a sponsor. I had Mighty Rise. I had Case Hospital. I had people stand with me. They were ready to fund me. Literally, they funded me. You understand? So now you're going in, a few countries in, and you're telling them, oh, no, it's done. So I want to go back there, but not under anyone's pressure, not under a Guinness World Records, not under anyone. I want to go back as Aletti. But also, when Guinness did what they did, it stopped making sense financially for me, because if I don't have the funding, then how am I going to be able to travel? You need a lot of money to travel. Even though I was traveling low budget, I still needed a lot of money to be able to go to all these countries. But I know for sure now that I'm going back to aviation school, I'll graduate and maybe, who knows, I'll get employed and be able to travel across the world. You know?
I love that. And the dream never dies. I tell people that when you have a dream, the dream will always live.
It does.
Always be alive. The other one, I want to talk about coping mechanism. With everything that you go through, with everything you've shared, people, Balabanga, it's heavy. It's overwhelming. The trauma, the trolls, the loneliness. What keeps you going? Where do you find happiness?
You see, I've asked myself this question as well. Lalit, what keeps you going? What is it? And for me, I feel like every day alive is just a privilege. You see, with all the things I've been through, Bonnie, I feel like God keeps giving me a chance to live. And I keep telling myself, if he let me go through, there was a day, you see now the problem is time is running out. I was going to tell you all my weird stories. There was a day...
no, go for it. We still have time, yeah.
There was a day when I was a child, when they groomed me into these gangs of becoming a thief. There's a day we went to rob someone's house. And when we got there, we stole the things, and then they captured... As we were leaving, the dogs were barking, and then the dog got me. I literally have a scar on my leg, teeth like this. So they captured me and two other boys. Our ringleader ran away. They carried us to the trading center, Kumacha. People gathered. But they beat us up. Never to take ebipira mu bulago. I was just like a boy, so it was easy for me. And I didn't have boobs then. So until one woman was like, "Nayo na mana simuwala." They're like, "Mwana muwala." They're like, "Rachimoba." They beat me. They beat us. They set my friend on fire. I was watching like this. Ngantunola. That thing, it shattered me so much. So every time I look at such situations, and that was not even the worst thing that happened. Every time I think about everything I've survived, I'm like, I have no reason to frown and be sad in any way. You're grateful to be here. It is a blessing to just be here. So I think for me, what keeps me going is my past just keeps me going. It just keeps pushing me and reminding me, Aletti, you're here, smile. You're here, just be happy. You've lost your friends before, they will come back. Better friends will come. You will make new friends. Yeah. Keep on going. You've lost a business, keep going. A marriage has failed, keep going. Gratitude just keeps me going. I'm grateful. I'm alive today. I'm grateful I'm here. So yeah.
Previously, when we were talking about it, there's a lot of girls like in the years back when you would post your travel pictures, I want to be like her. I want to be like Aletti. I want to be like everything. They admired everything that you posted. And this is what people do. Even today, people will look at my podcast. Mananga njagala your podcast. Mananga I like that podcast. But they don't know what is behind the beautiful podcast you see, what that individual is going through. What truth do you want them to hear that this isn't showing, the beautiful pictures and the passport stamps I used to get, the different countries you used to go to for a young girl out there?
First of all, I want you to know that social media is a facade. And we only show you the things we want you to see. You're going to find a few people that will come and tell you, I've been through this, like Aletti. The most of us are just performative on there. So I want you, the young girls and boys out there, to use social media, but tread carefully. If you're watching someone and their life either triggers you, makes you feel bad, makes you feel like you're not doing enough, makes you feel like you should go for more, I want you to block them or delete the app. It's time to go touch some grass, babes, because you're going to lose yourself in there. You understand? There was a season in my life, Bonnie, I became a pimp. I used to take girls to do porta party in Dubai. Do you understand? And I showed up online like nothing was happening. But behind closed doors, girls were crying and begging me to let them go home. Do you understand? Bansiba. No, Bansiba. Bansiba, I served time, never yo. Because even also how I got in Nangengo Muntu, someone lied to me and lured me into going to Dubai to do ABCD. And then when I got there, I realized that Chigenda Kola. It was not necessarily just doing porta party yoka angayo. If it's not just more, it was not just more people are going to do porta party. People used to go and sell sex abroad, even in Uganda. Now, for me, when I come online, I'm going to take a very nice picture on a yacht. I know how to edit. Or if I have a good friend who knows how to edit, like I used to have Brie, I'll be like, Brie, edit this for me. I'll post it. Now, when I post it for you, you're going to come and be like, oh my God, this is nice. Where is this place? When you come to my DM and be like, Aletti, where is this? Can you also take me? I want to be like you and travel. I'll go to your profile and look it up properly. Be like, haina qualities zetuagala. Yes, azina. Give me your contact. Do you understand? I will lure you into this bullshit. Abantu abagenda batundanga mutunula. Like right now in Kampala, we have so many madams and pimps, and they're going to lie to you and literally get you off your path to show you a certain world that you think is all roses and honey and flowers and rainbows. That is not how it works. Ku social media teri agenda kulaga bibi buli omajja kulaga birungi abasinga. Even you as a consumer, namwe mulina obuzibu, you only want to consume the good things. When someone comes and tell you banange, kino nogenda kikola nekiga kuleetera obuzibu, you get triggered nonyiga. You don't want to consume that kind of content. You're like, tongamba, go and okungamba. Are you my mother? Yes, for you, I'm not your mother. Thank you so much. But then what about a child somewhere in Nakasongola who needs this help? Do you understand? That's why I keep telling people, if you have a story to tell, do not let anyone stop you from sharing. Come and share, because someone is going to actually find it sensible. Go jakulaba ngo gena sharing over 100 views or mubemo muntu omwa afuna mchoyagala okusomesa. That is enough. Now, I want you guys to know that social media is a facade. Be very careful. Tread carefully. Most of us are out here performative. We're acting like we're traveling and we're enjoying what we're doing. We are not. Omanyichi oba ondaba ntambula siva kunyonyi nenga ntunda njaka. Omanyichi oba ndi malaya. Do you understand? Gomanyichi. And then also the other thing I want you to make peace with. I want you to make peace with the fact that waliwo abantu abamu nga bazaalibwa mu family nungi naturally. Waliwo abantu abamu nga bali blessed with wealth in their families. Gogenda kwe comparing n'omwana w'omugagga ogenda gweddalo. Ogenda kutunda ebijja byewamwe otunde buli kimu because you want to prove to the world that you can also sit with the elites. Okitegeera? Don't ever force yourself to fit in. If you sit on the table ngolaba munnange tobisobola, walk away. The problem is tetwagala nnyo kubeera mu levels affe. You would rather do anything to fit in than sit in your corner alone and set up a table for yourself. Do you understand? Yeah. So don't compete and compare yourself to people that can get money from their parents. Don't compete with girls who can get money from men. Don't compete with girls who can get money easily. Gobolabanga tojja kusobola bintu ebyo. Focus on your hustle. Kola. Oshtegera. We tend to think that social media, okay, no bulambo no maida social media ngodia, we're just consuming. You understand? Even as you consume, be very careful because it is indeed a facade. Yeah.
That's a very good message, Aletti. I really, really appreciate that. And that's when you say things like that, that's the goal why we have these platforms. And I really appreciate how you've used your social media to stand, and you don't really care what's happening or what you're going through at the moment, but you've lived it. But it's time now to to save another soul, which is really, really nice. I really appreciate that. The conversation is great. But it won't do me good or kuleka nga tetwogedde in the first episode we hinted on the breastfeeding a snake. Buli omu ke yasookerako bannange Aletti akomewo atunyumize breastfeeding. I don't know if you've shared this story on your platforms. The one of
I
the
eventually
breastfeeding a
shared
snake.
it. I eventually shared it, but I filtered because I realized that abantu banabamo batya mangu. But on my lives, I went all in. I told them exactly what happened. And I had actually told you, Basha, that that guy was willing to come down here and sit with you. Because you see, now that was the season of my life where I was a fool. Because how do you date someone which money they're into like maybe cults and witchcraft and those things, but you're comfortably dating them? Because it's not like I didn't know what they were doing. I knew this man was a witch doctor. I knew he was doing ABCD. You understand? So, let me let you finish your question though.
That is the question there. But if you really want the depth of these stories that we're hinting on, please, you need to go check out Aletti's Instagram, Aleti Crystal on Instagram, Aleti Crystal on YouTube, on TikTok, all the platforms. She goes in depth, which we can't do right now because, this podcast. Yeah, they took up a podcast, you come and talk, but also like we have time because the studio has to work, people have to go home. But the other thing that I really appreciate, and we touched on it in the first episode, was how you openly speak about visa, because you've traveled. We touched on it, but this is really such a good, important issue to talk about, because people, even till today, they still get scammed moving to your visa.
They do.
So I want you also to take that opportunity again. But because some people didn't watch the first one, they might just watch this one. But we talked about those visa scammers.
This advice is going to go to two different people. One, the visa agents, and then two, you, the client. First, I'm going to deal with the agent because I used to be an agent, and I'm very sure most people felt scammed by me in that season of my life. Okay? Now, but dear agents, I'm speaking to a few of you that you know yourself, and even me, who I used to be. Bobo chimanyi nti no togenda kusobola kukolera muntu visa, Don't promise them heaven on earth. Bobo chimanyi nti no, it's an automatic omuntu bagenda mu ma visa. Do not promise them heaven on earth. Because sometimes obwavu buno bugenda ne butukonsuming nga noyagala okubehaso buli wamu okubehaso. Now me, I was innocently trying to make money. Nga njagala kufuna sente. And I was trying to convince you nti ne bojja nze kebe ya UK nsobola gikufunira. Mukwano kebe ya America. Gwe nesiga. Naye nga simanyi na system bwekola inside there. Do you understand? Omuntu omukutte omuwadde fake documents. Okoledde documents ozikoze ku NASA ozifakinze okoze buli kimu kyokoze, you see, you have become a scammer. But when they tell you you're a scammer ng'onyiiga, okitegedde? Don't promise people nti ogenda bakolera ekintu nga togenda kikola. That is very wrong. Now, for you, the clients, ate kakati mwe mumalamu amaanyi. The only reason you're getting scammed is because muri banafu. You don't want to research. Okitegera? Otegedde, okay, UK, America, oba oyagala genda Cyprus, oyagala genda batokoze research. Negwe kubanga okimanyi gundi yagenda ko UK kamubuuzeeko. That person is also hungry for money. Agenda kugamba nsobola okubikolerako. Yes, naye ayinza okwagala okubikolerako n'abikolera even for real. Okitegera? Ogenda kwata omwe visa fee yo, applyingire visa bagikumme. You're going to get pissed at that person. Naye nga embassy jukira yekumma visa. Yeah. Where that person goes wrong is promising you nti agenda kuwa visa 100% guaranteed. Okitegera? Okay, yes, I had a few success rates. But then I had a few that failed me. Like now for me, I had a few that, because now I used to work with people like gundi akuyambako agent, gundi nakuyambako. Your job is to bring people. Omuntu bamumye visa mukwano. Ne baba bajumwa last time obogenda chiwulira. And then some agents are just not truthful. Okitegera? Omuntu nomubuzabuza nomuzeri. I don't want to sound like ndi mukuba mulimu gwamwe. Take it from me nango mulimu gwamwe gwali ogwange. But don't promise people things that you're not going to be able to do for them. It is very wrong. People struggle to make this money. People work so hard to save this woman is to travel. Go mukutte kubanga akuwadde eza labor, no kwata bulungi no sasula eza visa fee, no mujingirira documents no zifuna ku NASA. You keep forgetting that this person's passport is going to be marked. They might need to travel again. You've already damaged that for them. You understand? Now, for you, the clients as well, again, research as much. Also, don't be lazy. Do these things for yourself. You necessarily don't need an agent to do everything for you. Like research. Online. Bank statement ID you. Everything is yours. Why do you need someone to do things for you all the time? Okulekanga now you've okoze rapo n'omuntu ng'okimanyi ono omuntu akola bulungi alina record, alina track record ye nnungi. Okitegeera. Naye mumala gagwira na buli omu buli gosanze online kubanga yeeranga. Tubula bagenda kweyongerayo kola ki? Okubabba. Okitegeera. And I also want to take this opportunity to apologize to everyone that I've ever failed. Okitegeera. When it comes to that visa situation, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry. It was not intentional. I was just angry and hungry for money. Desperate to make a chikumi off your visa money. Okitegeera. I forge things, manya papala palanya wano this and this. Someone loses their money. Bebawa dene babawa. Thank God. Bebaba mini baba ma. Do you understand? But it's very wrong. It's very, very wrong.
Yeah, we touched on it the first time or the second time. I've seen a lot of people call me and ask me, "Banange born into America? Banange born?" And if I was a scammer, era kati
aba bakubuuza singa babuuza nze ebiseera biri nga nkyali sharp. Nandi bagambye nze nsobola okutwala. Mpaayo million 2. And people have that money. But for you, don't you use your brain and you're like, don't do that,
guys. Like you talked about that. Like, batunde ebijja byabwe ne bakola kye baagala. We're going to end this with a rapid fire.
Yes.
But I'm going to change this. I'm not going to make it a rapid fire. I'm going to rapid fire. If you feel like explaining, explain.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
What's the first country that changed your life? Uganda sobola okubeeramu.
Kenya.
Did you live in Kenya for a long time or just for a short time?
So for me, Kenya has always been the country I run to whenever things fail.
Yeah.
Every time things fall apart, I'm in Kenya. It's easy for me to just go to Kenya. Kenya is like my other home. So Kenya, man, me and Kenya, at some point, I told myself I can move to Kenya and actually thrive in Kenya. Because I made friends. Kenya, it's the first country that changed my life. Yeah.
Aleti, how many languages do you speak?
When I'm sober or when I'm drunk?
Katigeza when you're sober, because I heard you speak some Lunyankole mo video over Lunyankole.
I do. So I actually think I fluently can speak 4 languages.
Okay.
I speak Luganda. I can speak Runyankole properly. I can speak I can wait. Am I fluent in English?
Yeah, I would say so.
Are we? I think so. I speak English. And then I speak a little bit of Lubar.
Okay.
I can communicate in Lubar. So actually 4 languages. Yeah.
What is this? Another question. A fear that you still haven't conquered. Yes, it's a but that's why I wanted to know. Is there something
that scares me?
You fear that you've not conquered? Yeah, that you've not conquered.
That I've not conquered. I still have the fear of dying young and leaving my daughter before at least she turns 20. It just scares me. It just keeps me up at night, and I'm like, my God, if I'm gone today and the dad is gone maybe tomorrow, this girl is going to, I don't know how she'll survive. But I think now that is because of my trauma, like my childhood trauma. But I know that right now, even if I die today, she'll be just fine. She knows what she needs to know. She will be fine. Life will be hard, but she'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one country you'd live in for a year?
Kenya.
Okay, I knew you're gonna pick Kenya from the explanation earlier. One lie people believe about you.
I actually don't know, Basha.
Ntito yagala nairo special.
Mukwano, ekigambo nairo temukisaagirangako. Oh. Wow. Mukwano, tebakulimbanga. Ekyo kituufu. People, abantu batamuzibira, tanywa mwenge, tanywa, yava ku munairo, tekisoboka. Me and now special?
Nairo special.
Solid. Yeah.
One thing you wish your younger self knew.
Whoa, my therapist asked me that question the other day, and I know what to say. I wish my younger self, knew that adults don't necessarily have all the authority, especially when it comes to like sex, I wish she knew that just because an adult has said, take your pants off, you necessarily don't have to take off. And that's why I keep telling all these mothers, tell your children, teach them about bad touches, teach them about who is allowed to undress them and not. Please teach them boundaries. You understand? So I regret that every day because I feel like me as a child, man, people abused me just because uncle has said, just because Gundi has said. When they scare you, chimubibidi, you've taken your pants off, they've abused you and they've scared you and told you, don't tell your mom. If you tell your mom, I'm going to also report you that you did ABC. Do you understand? Like, let's teach our children to be very, one, expressive, and then teach them about boundaries. Also, let your children speak up. Toba cities, sir. Let your child speak up. Akugambe, be their friends. Yeah, so yeah, that one I wish my younger self knew.
That's great that you talked about that because recently, because my daughter goes to daycare when I go to work, so the people watch and they have like these kids daycare, and she sometimes when I pick her up, she will tell me, "Daddy, pushed me, or this person did this, or this person pulled my hair." And I tell her next time they do that, tell them I'm gonna tell my daddy, and my daddy is gonna come beat you up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I tell her, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or like something like that. And she does that sometimes. Actually, she does it to me sometimes too. For like, or like I do something to her, like, hey, don't do that. And she would tell me back to me, like, so I'll try to teach her to speak up for herself, like, do not even take a second to do anything. If somebody does something to you, you just gotta put it back.
Speak up.
Tell them.
Call it out immediately.
Speak up for yourself. Yeah. Anyway, Aletti, newankubadde njagala tusigale wano twogere essaawa bbiri. We started a little late and I don't want to keep the guys in the studio late, but you always have an open door to this podcast.
Yeah.
You're a friend of the show. Anytime wabawo ekiriwo, you have my number. Just say Bonnie. Nagwe njagala okuvuma kati ate kati. Naye sokomaliza kino. The name Queenie. Queen. Like how do you get the name Queen? I think we touched on it a little bit. I've seen it somewhere. Ne Google ekimanyi nti erinnya lyo gwe Queenie.
He is a Queenie. My mother. And then someone my mother dated actually started calling me Queenie mu by'okusaaga. Ngampita Queen, ne bampita Queenie. So abantu abali close to me bampitanga Queen. But that name brings back so many memories. My best friend used to call me Queenie. So every time someone calls me Queenie, I'm like, who is that? Is that Ayeza? Hello? Hi, enemy. You get.
You've talked about that, and I kind of just, not that I ignored it, I know. And when you touched it, I didn't ask any question about it. Because you and I remember the moments we had the first episode, like when we were there. Even that clip that went viral.
She was dying. She was dying. I mean, she would be here by now. Those dying of laughter. She was my support system, literally. And I think she she had to be there for me to do certain things. So, like, I really needed her.
Do you have hopes in that getting fixed, or is it at the point where you don't think it'll get fixed? Is it something that was hurt so bad that it can never be fixed? You know how I asked you about your dad and you gave up on it, but is it in the same space or not?
I don't think it's that bad that it cannot be fixed, but I think the both of us are currently just acting sweet and we're like, nah, go away. And then we cry in our beds and we're like, I miss you so much. Please come back. Yeah, for now, to be honest, I don't want to fix anything. For now, let me first fix myself. I need to be a better friend for anyone.
Yeah, we pray that everything gets fixed, and if it's God's will that it will not,
so be it.
Thank you so much for sharing so openly with us today. I know it's been a little serious than the first one, and if you've never watched the first episode, please run now. Like, that's what you need to do. Your journey reminds us that healing is not a straight line. It's falling, rising, and choosing yourself again and again. And to everyone who has listened to this conversation, or if you watched our conversation, may this conversation inspire you to chase your dreams, to confront your pain, and believe that brokenness can be strength. Because like I kept saying, like from what she has gone through, she still smiles and she still laughs. So that can still be you, and you laugh through whatever is going on. This has been the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, and I've been your host, Bonnet Chibuka, Omubwati, Ugandan Boy. Tojivaako. See you next time.
Thank you. First there, let me take a picture of you, dear. Antu nabalaga ntya munange nti nabadde ne celebrity wange. Serebu oli watulabe otyo.
Omulabye.
Say
Omufunye
cheese.
serebu.
Serebu sefene. Otyo. Checho. Kale bye Bonnie, thanks for
Anyway.
having me.
I asked 3 final questions, another one answer. What's a life lesson you've learned in life to this point?
Life gets better and it is okay to not be okay.
What gets you excited about life?
I have no idea. But again,
Okay.
wambuza waline kugamba the opportunity to just be alive. It just excites me.
Actually, yeah.
Mm.
When I asked you that, I remember we talked about that in the main discussion.
Mm.
The third one is a signature question. Who would you like to see on this podcast next as a guest? And you help me connect with that person. Once will be the Alex Mokula. Let's manual about that's still something that's possible or one that you
Right now it might not be possible.
Okay.
Na ye.
Okay. I felt
Who can I have like 3 people I would love to see here.
Yeah.
Have you hosted Irene Talley before?
Nedda nenga mwagala. Actually, you commented on one of the posts. Babi muletere. Wetaaga.
So there is Irene Talley. Have you hosted Caroline Cash before?
Nedda.
To Charlie is a cook Caroline Cash. That's my G. She's doing good in the content creation world. There is another business
I
mind.
love collaboration. Actually, I remember you mentioned something about somebody other kubuza kuba influencer. Nogamba, one thing Ugandan don't know is collaboration. And I really love that because they do not know that. Buli omu abeera na competition. Like you do something,
Thank you.
And I'm trying to, like, I've told people, like, me, I'm not doing this for any competition. I do it because I love it. I can host anybody. I can share my ideas with it. If anybody's watching this and says, Bonnie Namubu, it was about podcasting, but that's a lie. There's nothing I hide. Everything I've done, I say it as I said it because I know God blesses people differently. Nti newe manchi kugambi bw'obanga Katonda nze yanteekako amafuta bwega nti Bonnie, this is your blessing. Nobody's going to take that. So I would share with you, and if God uses that to share with you too, well, then we grow. This is a big space for everybody. So we need to collaborate a lot and inspire each other. Bambi.
Actually, you know what? Irene Talley go about to later. I'm going to ask her nicely. I'll beg. I'll be like, please, my celeb, beg. Bambi, come. She'll come. She's a sweet, sweet person.
Okay.
Have you hosted Baby Glory?
Yes. I had Baby Glory.
Okay, I'll go and watch her episode.
Kari, I'll send it to you.
No worries.
Hey there, my name is Bonnie Chibuka, the podcast host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching and listening to my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, leave a feedback on this podcast because that's how we grow. Thank you very much and be blessed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sexy mama cedar Aletti is back like fantabulous. Wow. Hi, my name is Aletti and I've been hosted today on the Ugandan Boy podcast. The baddest, the best, the only one. Consistency. Creme de la creme. Number 1 in this country. I don't know about the rest of you. Hello. Go cry in a corner. I'm joking. But you know you're doing your best. I don't care. We are the best. The biggest. Wow. Anyway, so tune in and watch our podcast, okay? Our episode is going to be dropping soon. I'll need for you to go and watch. Okay? Yeah. Love you.
Kari.
Bye.
These days they also take pictures. Bagenda kukuwa kubifaananyi awo. And DOP ajabimpereza. Kari, I don't know if my DOP is listening to me. Kabiyako kenywe okamalemu bakotanedde katwale waka.
Dembe debelo naida special mulamu wachisena.
Now special needs to sponsor this episode, but
now special you give Basha money because angulidezi now special ziri wanonga kumi. Kati, I'm gonna get drunk and then I'll crawl back home. Thank you.
Kale Aletti.
Kale bye.